The allegiance of the beast to French Freemasonry is confirmed in Scripture. You may recall that French Freemasonry declared in 1877 that there is no God. It proclaimed its secular humanism in the motto, quote, "to the glory of humanity," end quote. Likewise, the beast regards no God, and like French Freemasonry, which made a god of humanity, the beast then exalts himself and magnifies himself above every god, thus fulfilling Scriptures. Is there further scriptural evidence to support this interpretation of the nature of the beast? Dr. Alfred Rehrwinkel, in his book entitled The Flood, published in 1952, says that Jesus prophesied an end of the age world of atheist humanists. Listen carefully. In Matthew chapter 24, verse 37, Christ tells his disciples that the last days will be as it was in the days of Noah. Rehrwinkel says that, quote, "the generation before the flood was not a pagan or idolatrous race," end quote. He says they were godless. Godless. Rehrwinkel points to archaeological evidence which supports Scripture, and his thesis, quoting Sir Charles Leonard Woolley, a British archaeologist who has noted, quote, "in no single grave has there been any figure of a god, any symbol or ornament that strikes one as being of a religious nature," end quote. The Old Testament offers further insight into the atheistic, amoral humanism of the beast and his antediluvian precursors, known as the Atlanteans. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 informs us what antediluvian humanity was like. Quote, "There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown," end quote. Rehrwinkel unravels the enigmas of this passage from Genesis and applies it to the atheistic humanists of our day and world. Quote, "The Hebrew word Nephilim means more than what we understand by the term giant. It means those that fall upon others, brigands, thugs, tyrants. These Nephilim were famous in that world. They had made a great name for themselves through their acts of violence, lawlessness, and corruption. They were known by all, and their statues were probably found in the antediluvian shrines of honor. There are Nephilim, or giants, in the world today. They are the men who rule this world. They hold their councils in secret. They dispose of countries and millions of human beings as so many figures on a chessboard. They confiscate property that does not belong to them and condemn millions of innocent people to a horrible death of misery and starvation. They blot out whole cities of men, women, and children with hell-born missiles of death, but they are applauded as great men and renowned, and their portraits and statues are given a place of honor in the halls of fame in our world today," end quote. Rehrwinkel suggests that the sons of God were not supernatural beings, but powerful men who considered themselves as gods, exactly as it was stated in the Garden of Eden. A humanistic philosophy which follows atheism.
Atlantis also seems to have a very great fascination for the psychologist and the social reformer. Is it true that a civilization existed long ago which knew what we do not know today? Is there something lost in our way of life because it disappeared under the waters of the Atlantic so far back in our story? Is it true that there were giants upon the earth in those days, mental giants, that had skills and abilities which they had derived from the studies of esoteric matters?
You see, I've been telling you all along, the socialists and the mystery religion of Babylon are the same.